Hello, I'm Kads, and welcome to today's video. The portal is blue, which means it is once again time for 2x Ancients, where we get 2x chance to pull epics and legendaries from ancient shards. Let's go ahead and take a look at the shard count. Currently on my account, I have 337 Ancients, 156 Voids, and 49 Sacred Shards. Now, of course, I'm only going to be pulling a subset of these Ancient Shards because the main goal, as usual for myself, is to get the Legendary Tome from the Champion Chase tournament. So typically this will cost about 60 to 70 Ancient Shards, depending on the RNG, but there's also the perk of getting the fragments done for Pythion. One thing that is quite helpful for Champion Chase tournaments is the ability to summon previous fragment summon champions, and you can use them to get their respective points. Since it is a champ chase, you get 250 for epics, for normal non-void epics, and you get 500 for non-void legendaries. So I did plan to summon Versolf the Grim. Let's do that right now, and this will give me 500 points, but I plan to use him for the Forced HP Secret Room. I think that's on rotation 3 of the Doom Tower. So I might run him unbooked, honestly, just to kind of get, leech, a little bit of damage and protection, and then provoking on the A1 as well as the passive. But I think I might run him unbooked just to see how well we can do in that room. But he has some utility, and also he's worth 500 points. So, as usual, I do always like to show you guys my Mercy tracker here, so you can see where I'm at relative to getting some epics and or guaranteed epics or legendaries. And as you can see, I am fresh off of hitting a legendary last 2x Ancients. I believe it was Kira the Watcher, which was somewhat disappointing. But I'm fresh off a legendary, and given that I'm only pulling up to 70-ish Ancient Shards, I'm really not expecting much. Obviously, if I get a legendary, sweet. But it's a 1 in 100 chance, and I'm not even pulling 100, so I'm not expecting much. That being said, though, of course, if I do get lucky, I would love to see Xavia or Eleanor Rill. Most of you guys already know Poison Explosion is the dream, so one of my girls, I'd love to get one of them. Also in the market for a Valkyrie, so I can make a new Demon Lord Clan Boss team. Another variation of a traditional team that features Valkyrie. The shield would be very useful, and the counterattack as well. Molly Tank Guard, again, the no contact provoke for 1 or 2 turns is quite useful, and that would help for tag team arena. And as far as epics go, same as usual, Duck the Pierced, or should I say Duck the Elusive. But for whatever reason, I can't seem to pull him. I just want him as a better debuffer than Zargala, in my opinion, for Orcs Faction Wars. And aside from him, the only other epics I would care about are more Dark Elves for Faction Guardians, and in the same vein, Sylvan Watchers for more Faction Guardians. All right, let's get into the pulls. We've got the space, we've got the cash, and hopefully, we've got the luck. First set of 10 is going to be a bunch of rares. Do not give me an all blue. Ursine Ironhide and Baroth the Blood-Soaked. Relatively a Muckstalker as well. Hey, if you guys, he's campaign farmable, but Sand Devil's Necropolis, one of the S tier rares for that dungeon. Ursine is kind of underwhelming. I think he has decreased attack, and I don't even know what Baroth does. I think he's like a shield and healing champion. Very underwhelming. That was 580, so I think I'm at 1,000 points on the Champion Chase. Skiramis, that's one of the new high elves, I believe. I think he has counterattack, provoke, and chance to stun on the A1. Birangiri, well known for being able to solo Bommel up to stage hard, or stage 50 on hard. So decent pull, another 580, so we're at 1,500 for the Champ Chase. Next set of 10 is gonna be a legendary. No, well, we got Apothecary, good rare for the early game. Ultimate Garlic, HP Burner, AoE, decent. I'm getting, well, I guess double epics per 10 pull is the trend here, but decent AoE HP burn. It's not 100% chance. I think it's 75% chance when booked, but if he's all you've got, he can do the job. Allure, one of the best turn meter controllers in the game with her beastly A1, 75% turn meter reduction as long as she crits. Triple hitter. That brings us to 2,000 points, so we need either a strong 10 pull or another couple double epic pulls. Rector Drath, amazing Veil Champion, Heal Champion, and Reviver. Love her. Okay, 820. That's close. We need one more 10 pull. Lordly Legionary, somewhat niche. He's one of the daily log and reward champions, and he's like a Fire Knight specialist, but even then, he's not really used. Venomage, love Venomage. poison with heal reduction, poison detonation on the A1, decrease defense, decrease attack on a single target. So very, very strong kit. Love Venomage. Really good for the epic Lizardman Secret Room, as well as Faction Wars. So one more should do it, unless we get an all blue here. So let's see, another epic, Clawed Beast Feeder. Increase speed, increase accuracy champion, who can be somewhat useful for Faction Wars or Arena sometimes as well. Hoffreeze, good epic for a reviver for Skinwalkers if you need that. Gorlos Helma, a good decreased defense champion AoE for Demon Spawn. So I think that is gonna do it. And that might have been less than I even thought. I think we got pretty good epic rates there overall. Let's check in on the champ chase, and boom, completed. A little bit over, quite a bit over actually. But I don't mind pulling, an extra 6, 7 ancients. It's not that big of a deal. I do have a ton to spare. So that is done, and that's gonna be it for the summons. And as usual, we're going to do the bonus Soulstone summons. I do have 40 that I'm going to pull today, and we can see what we can get from those. Good luck, me. First 10 is going to be a bunch of 1-star. Oh, legendary, hello. Lanicus the Chosen. I do have her. I don't use her, but the Ascension might be useful. 4-star Luthea. I don't use her at all. Probably going to sell that. 1-star Roxum, I do not have him. Looks like the rest are garbage. Next 10 is going to be Golden Reaper, do not have. 3-star Dagger, that's Phantom Touch for sure. Couple of epics that I don't use. I have a higher level for Cornelia, so that's an insta-sell. Lugan the Steadfast, legendary, do not have him. And looks like we're gonna have to make a bit of room here. Go real quickly through these. Let's see. Don't want to keep any of the rares. I do want the dagger one. I don't care about Knight Errant or Luthea or Cagebreaker or Anchorite or Wuji, and I already have a higher level of Cornelia. Awesome. Sold. All right, 20 more. Actually, it looks like I'm going to get to 2,000 on the soul coin, so I might pull an immortal as well. I'm kind of saving my tier 2 coins a little bit because there's some more 1-star souls I want to buy. So we'll see what I get there. Bunch of rares that are going to be sold. Claude, I actually recently retired him. I used him for the Frost Spider for increased accuracy, but I replaced his spot with Walking Tomb Drang, so I don't need increased accuracy anymore because I get an irresistible HP burn. Atchak, I already have a higher level. Jarag, I don't use him, but that would be cool to have. Oh, there you go. Got Fellhound off the wish list, so that'll probably be Phantom Touch as well, just extra damage extra damage and extra stats for the campaign farmer. So there we go. Not the most useful set, but yeah, I think we'll do it. I think we'll do it. Let's buy 1 Immortal Soulstone and pop this puppy. Let's see what we get here. 6-star legendary, nope. 3-star epic, probably. 4-star epic, Excruciator. I think she hits decently hard, but I actually don't even have her. So there you go. There's the Soulstone summons. Alrighty, that's going to do it for today's video. So a couple of extra stats after the fact here. I ended up pulling 50 Ancient Shards and pulling 1 Fragment Summon Champion, and that got me to 3,800 points. And upon further review, I actually could have saved 10 Ancient Shards because I just barely passed 3,000. So it would have actually, to get the Legendary Tome, it only cost me 40 Ancient Shards. But that's a lot better than the norm, so the epics were pretty consistent, and so that was a pretty good RNG session overall. No legendary, of course, but that's just how the cookie crumbles. Unfortunately, I didn't get anything from my wish list, even on the epic level, so no Faction Guardians for me this week. Also, a couple notes on the Pythion Fusion. Now that we have a bit more insight into some of the events and tournaments, it is worth noting we are on day 3 here, and a couple of things have started. Classic Arena has begun, and that's pretty standard at 390 points. The Divers has already begun, and the Artifact Enhancement has begun as well. It's worth noting that the Dungeon Divers is more expensive than usual. Normally for a 3-day long it's $28.50, but this time they upped it to $33.50. And in a similar vein, the Artifact Enhancement for a 3-day long is usually 3,300 or 4,000 points. I was expecting 4,000, but they upped that to $47.75. Now, before people freak out and say they're making things harder and increasing it, I think it's warranted in this case because, again, Pythion is basically a free duchess for the player base, and so I expected higher milestones, not necessarily this high, but I did expect higher milestones just because he's so desirable as a champion, and I think that's fair considering that you still have the chance, unlike fusion or unlike a hybrid fusion, for example, you have the opportunity to skip summoning events, or you can pull more shards during the summoning events and skip some of the events and tournaments. So it's a little more flexible as far as how you can get that done. And for a little bit of insight, because I mostly just took gear from 15 to 16, it only cost me about 9 million silver to get to 4,800 points on the Artifact Enhancement. So is it more than normal? Yes. Is it doable? Absolutely. So don't get too worried and just do what you can to get as many points as you can, because Pythion is definitely worth the extra effort. So hopefully you enjoyed this shard pull video. Best of luck to all of you with your summons, and let me know what you pull in the comment section down below. So if you enjoyed this video in particular, be sure to drop a like on it. And if you enjoyed this content or the more that I have to offer on the channel, then feel free to subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching and have a good one.